It's
Hi.
good to catch up with you.
Yeah, really good to see you, mate. Really pleased that you've asked me to come talk. Actually, pretty honoured. I don't know why you would do, but thank you very much. In terms of how long I've been training for the bodybuilding stuff, much shorter than what you'd think, probably about 3 years since I met my other coach. So before, did really enjoy CrossFit, which you would laugh at. So lots of functional fitness, Olympic lifting, and really got a lot out of that. And even to the point where I was like starting to coach in it and thought maybe that was where I wanted to go. Uh, yeah, and as I say, how deep do we want to go into this? Because I think things just changed. So long story short, I started caring for my mother who had quite unexpectedly cancer metastases and was still training all the way through being a carer actually. But then I think when the pandemic and things hit, she had literally just passed away in that lockdown period, and then obviously that outlet of having gym and things went as well.
Yeah.
And I think, if I'm honest, I didn't realize until that point something had like kind of until very recently, really, something had broken in me, and I lost all enjoyment of kind of that stuff to the point of I don't know why I'm telling you some of this to the point of like uh I did take some tablets, and I'm not saying that I 100% was committed to not getting up in the morning, but I wasn't too fussed if I didn't. Uh, and
I
actually,
get
I
it.
did,
No, I
obviously.
get it. I get it. Yeah, I
Yeah.
get it.
And obviously, I did because I'm here. And then wind forwards, I guess, from that, one of the things I thought, like what we was talking about earlier about learning experiences, I think you learn more through being kind of in the pits and not getting what you want and things not going well than when everything's great. I think from that, the one thing I did take from it is, and I'm not saying I do it well all the time, but I thought clearly I'm supposed to be here. So I need to now make sure that I kind of do everything I can do to be the best version of me. So that one, I didn't go back to that kind of state. And part of that started with the mental health side. And that took a few months, years, ongoing progress, really.
Yeah.
But then part of it was actually more the physical, which is, I guess, where I met my current coach, and we started doing much more things around bodybuilding, physique, starting with a photo shoot, but very much the bodybuilding side of it in shows was kind of fell into it really. So I'd done a photo shoot, had a great kind of transformation, and I just walked in one day and said, "How do you fancy doing a bodybuilding show?" Not
Yeah.
thinking about actually everything that entailed. And it was a very steep learning curve, but again, one that was great. And I think one of the things I enjoy about that type of training is not just the training; it's actually the stretching of your mind and what you think you can achieve.
Yes.
Um, Sorry, that was really long-winded, wasn't it?
No, no, no.
Obviously,
No, it's great. It's great that you said that. I think on Instagram, um, I think we were saying the other day, um, I don't know your backstory, but we're getting on, so we can sort of notice things and piece things together
yeah,
sometimes. And I knew that there's no way you can be a master's. You can't be a master's and not have been through stuff. It's, look at the age that we are,
yeah,
and to get
mm,
to get to competitive shape like you have done, it takes a lot of mental fortitude as well. So not only you must have got a lot of life experience, but you also have mental fortitude to get on stage. So I knew that there has to be something that you've overcome to be competitive and to play so well this year. So I'm glad you've shared that history there, or some of it, because I know there's more. But
yeah,
it's just
yeah.
interesting.
There can be a part two.
Say that again, sorry.
There can be a part two.
Yeah, I think there
Sorry,
needs to be a part
yeah.
two.
I think for sure. I mean, one of the things is like I like during that period, I think it's really interesting anyway. Generally, how people's I'm not saying for everyone, but for me in particular, if my kind of head isn't in a clean place, what I've noticed is that my body and my outlook on things isn't in a clean place either. And certainly like during that bad period, you know, it was I wouldn't take my top off actually at all because I was just so embarrassed. Even in terms of the CrossFit coaching and stuff, I wouldn't take my top off because I was just like I feel really embarrassed about what I look like and you know what people expect compared to where I was. So I think that was another thing about doing the bodybuilding show. So I did one show before I met you last year, and that one was very much about the actual, you know, just getting there, getting on a stage and feeling okay with being in, as you know, what's basically next to basically just your pants in front of a crowd of people.
Yeah.
Because definitely that's not something that in that period I would have been able to do at all.
Yeah. So yeah, again, like we said earlier. What did you say in terms of you hearing about everybody wanting to win? Everyone who's there wants to win. Can you remind me what you said there?
Yeah. So I was watching I was just watching somebody talk about last night about shows, and they're saying basically like no matter what people say, they're kind of bullshitting you if they say they don't want to win. And on one level, that is true. Everybody wants to win, right? But on another level, there are different types of winning in it, isn't it? So like for some people, the win might be, oh yeah, I have to place this year. But for other people, it could literally just be, actually, I got there and I did it and I was accountable.
Like you with the first show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly that.
100%, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, as it so happens, we went above and beyond in that show what we wanted. Like we got top 6, which I you know, to be honest, I was absolutely ecstatic with, because to be from a place where, like we said, you know, well, we'll just say it was very dark times.
Yes.
To actually all of a sudden you can walk out, you can display next to a group of lads who were at the peak of their physical fitness, and most of them, because it was a novice class, were actually like about what 25.
Yeah.
And you just think to actually do that, for me, that was a massive win. So yes, I agree. Everybody does want to win, but I guess what winning looks like for one person or another at any one time is very, very different.
100%.
And I've always kind of I always try, I'm not sure I'm 100% good at it, but I always try to be humble and to always think about actually what's really good in what everyone else has done. Because to me, I genuinely like, obviously, I like everybody, I do want to win, but I think winning for me is actually just being still around here and actually doing the things that I'm doing and making progress. We went from one show to adding in basically 3, which doesn't sound a lot to anyone else, but you know, like going from nothing to 3 is is quite a lot. But yeah, one of the things I definitely learned as I went along, doing so many different shows, I think last season, was one, kind of what we said before. Like, I don't think you necessarily learn as much about yourself if you get what you want straight away. Because I certainly didn't. The first show I had, you know, I was BF Midlands, and I literally just didn't even get called out, and it was just mainly standing there for until I did my routine. And I remember my 2 coaches said to me, "There's like, you're not upset, are you?" There's like, because you looked great, you know, you don't need to be upset. I says, I'm not upset. I says, but I feel like maybe I've let you down because I haven't done as well as I should have. Right. But then what I would say is that when the one thing I learned from that is actually how silly that kind of sentiment was, because then I went out and did my routine and actually just really enjoyed it. And one of the things I definitely took away from last season is when you stop trying to be perfect, if you like, that's when you really start to grow. So when you think more about the enjoyment and, you know, just really, really being present and in that experience and not worrying about what the outcome is, that is when all the progress seemed to happen. So like when we met Manchester, like at PCAs afterwards, that was where I really started to hone into that. Actually, this is about me enjoying myself, not about me wanting a particular outcome.
And then, yeah, and then after that, your season got better as that mindset sort of took its form more.
Yes.
The outcomes of the placings were better and the look was better. Because I think,
Yes. Yeah.
so when did we meet? It was the BNBF September, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
6th of September, yeah. And if you
Mm.
look at your look then compared to the PCA finals,
Yeah.
you could definitely see the progression. You could definitely see the progression. So you definitely bit down.
Yeah, for sure. I know that my posing coach at the time, he said one of the things that he's really proud to watch. He says, I saw you come out, and he's like, at first I thought, is that Kev? Because I'm not sure it is. Because he says it looked like a different person. He says you looked much more like you was enjoying yourself, and you wasn't overthinking every single move that you was making. And I said to him, I says weirdly. So because I didn't expect anything of it, all of the pressure came off, and then I could really just relax.
Yeah.
Because after Manchester, we'd kind of done what I wanted to do, and I was really considering, do I carry on or do I just leave it here and then come back maybe next year? And I didn't get forced into doing anything. I think in the end I did decide, okay, so I thought, let's just do it. But this time we definitely don't think about the outcome. It's literally just go there, do what I need to do, have a good time. And it definitely did make a huge difference. I think if you start stressing about, I say this and I'll probably do the same this year, if you start stressing about where you should be, I think it definitely reflects in that look that you give, and also how confident you look.
Yeah, definitely. Do you see, because you started bodybuilding more recently, you obviously don't have the comparison of bodybuilding in your younger years till now, but
Yeah.
you were a CrossFit athlete and a CrossFit
Mhm.
coach. So do you find any challenges bodybuilding now at this age compared to when you were younger doing the CrossFit? Do you find any physical challenges, or a difference? I know it's a
Yeah.
different sport, so it's
Yeah.
hard to kind of gauge, but in terms of recovery, um, and so on, do you find that there's any difference?
Uh, so I'm not going to lie. Of course, there is definitely a difference. So yeah,
Yeah, as a
I
native,
mean,
yeah.
I don't like to admit it, but yeah, for sure. So when I was doing all of those CrossFit based things, I mean, I was like not young, it was like early 30s, mid 30s, and it definitely I could definitely do back to back training sometimes, like a class in the morning, like a barbell class at night, and it be nothing, and still be up early in the mornings. Because even now, I still am up at 4:30 to get ready to go to the gym to do my training before work. I definitely think it's more in the last year or so, I'd say. Definitely the last year or so. It has become a bit more difficult. I can see you smile. A bit more difficult.
Yeah, yeah,
I think particularly the recovery element. I mean, one of the things I really have tried to nail down on now is trying to make sure I get in 8 hours sleep a day, and also that and that I'm not saying I'm always good at it, but try and get in the mobility and the stretching.
yeah,
Because I can tell you what, if I've had a heavy squat session, especially with cycling back and forth to training, I can really feel how tight everything is, and particularly this is a bit of an old man thing to say, particularly lower back after heavy squats. It's just not as nice as it
yeah,
used to
yeah,
be.
yeah,
So yeah, there are definitely, I think, more challenges, but I think in some ways they're the things that, it's going to sound really sick, but that's kind of the things that I enjoy as well. So I think you can see things as like, I have friends, for example, and they say, I'd like to do what you do, but I'm too old. I would like to do this, but I ate too much. And I often say to them, well, it's like, well, yeah, so do I. I just inherently, I always think doing something is better than nothing.
Yeah.
And also, like, I see it as a challenge. I was like, it's anything that you want to do in life, if it's easy, probably means it's not worth doing in the first place.
Yeah.
I,
Yeah.
I think that's the way I see it. But yeah, for sure, I sometimes look back and I think about how little sleep I used to get and still be able to go and do a shed load of Olympic lifting and CrossFit classes and get PRs and don't recover as quickly. And I have to make more of a conscious effort to do
We're
things
singing
that
from the
aid
same
me.
hymn sheet, believe you me.
Yeah.
Believe you me.
Yeah.
And this is another reason why I wanted to speak to some of the guys within our age bracket and above, because as good as the younger athletes are, and some of them are absolutely fantastic and amazing, they don't know what to expect. So if they
Yeah.
still want to continue to do this at our age and beyond, um, you know, we didn't know. Obviously, we come from two different backgrounds, athletic wise, but we've met in bodybuilding, right? So
Yeah. Yeah.
my background wasn't only just in bodybuilding. I've done a number of other things, but um, when you're at the peak of your powers, you can't imagine what it's like to not be able to recover as well. You can't imagine what
Yes.
it's like
Yeah.
to not, um, you know, do two back-to-back sessions and get up the next day on 4 hours sleep. You know, so
Yes. Yeah.
this is some of the reasons for me interviewing yourself as well. Um, but yeah, so do you have any plans on competing? Are you taking an off season, or are you going to keep us guessing?
That's such a naughty ask after what.
Yeah, you want to keep us guessing.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So there is a plan to do it this year. But I think one of the things I'm trying to do is to do things perhaps more quietly
Yes.
than last year. I think it's always really good to have people's support and people messaging. But I think when we was talking the other day, we mentioned it. Sometimes that can tip into something that then becomes a bit stressful because you feel like a weight of expectation. But yeah, for this definitely this year, the one thing I'm going in with though is the aim to really just it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? After what we talked about winning, but just to enjoy and actually to see the improvements that I've made from last year. So the biggest one for me that I'll see as a massive win, even if I don't particularly place anywhere, will be to get up on stage, do those classic poses, and actually look and feel happy and confident with what I've produced. That would be a big one for me, I think, this year. There's always got to be something, I think, each year, hasn't there? So the first one was about actually just getting there and doing it. Last year was about doing a full season and developing between show to show. And next year will be more about actually bringing something polished from the offset and then developing from there. So I guess that's what I want to do. But also obviously to get an invite. Shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, so whenever that will be is yet to be revealed, right? I
Yeah,
think
exactly. Yeah.
your presentation is very good. Yeah, I was thinking to myself the other day, your posing is very very good.
Oh,
Um,
thank you.
that's something I'm going to be working on in my off season, personally. And as you said, each season on reflection should be, in my opinion, about building on building on whatever foundation that was. So, what advice would you give to any young competitors?
Oh,
I mean, it's not so much about the look. I mean, some of them look better
uh,
than we ever will. But
yeah,
in
yeah, for
terms of
sure.
any advice you give to the younger athletes as a masters, what would you say as an older athlete? Because you're still in great shape. You do not look in your 40s at all. So you're clearly doing something
I'll
right.
take that.
No, seriously. You don't look in your 40s and you're still getting better. So for me, there's advice for you to be giving other people, in my opinion?
So I'd say this is probably going to sound a bit cliche because obviously we've talked about everybody wanting to win. But I think sometimes, like, one of the things I've noticed backstage, and it's not a critique of any of the younger guys, but I think they place such emphasis on win, 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 that actually then they can't see actually how amazing that they've done.
Yeah.
And how well they are doing. And, you know, like you were saying, how envious like people like us would be. And I think my advice would be to try and ease the pressure off yourself a little bit. Yes, everybody wants to win, but actually, you know, it's in the grand scheme of things and in your life, that might be one point where there's a really big learning point, and not to beat yourself up over something like that. So I guess essentially is like, enjoy and don't get overly stressed. As cliche as that might sound, and I think that's something that I definitely can be accused of in the past, is getting myself worked up about everything needs to be perfect, or this wasn't good enough because, and all it does really is just end up in a really negative cycle, I think, where you attack yourself and you don't recognize actually what was all the good things that you had to offer and that you brought.
Excellent. Well, thanks for coming on, and
No, thanks, mate.
yeah, good luck in your off season, and all the best. All the best. We'll have to do a part 2.